Thank you. Absolutely not. There would be, not everybody has a price. Let's put it that way. That never, I would never consider something like that. One of the reasons the Patriotic Front was formed was because we didn't see either, perhaps, as an alternative. So no, there's been nothing about any, sorry, they're not saying coalition, they're saying that somebody said don't contest to save that. No, absolutely
because they feel
not.
that they felt that someone like you and with Panday coming, getting back in the politics, that it would have affected the UNC in their heartland.
Did they think that? I think that maybe. But the interesting thing is, our support since we started is widespread. And I was saying that a little earlier on today. So I don't know if that's good under our first past the post system, because we know how it works. But it's widespread, and the beauty is it seemed to transcend race and these kinds of things. But I understand what you're saying. I'm not a fool that if there is that Panday support, and then perhaps we will split the vote and things like that. But you know, I always, the whole concept of splitting the vote means if it is that easy for someone to change, it wasn't yours in the first place.
Yeah, true. So the issue, because you said that your support was widespread. So
throughout, geographically
and across all demographics.
Yes.
So isn't there more of a duty then for the Patriotic Front to have a presence in the election, because you have a 5-year wait, and you're going into a post-COVID world. Well, it's not post-COVID yet, but I'm just anticipating. You're going into a post-COVID economic world.
Yes.
Where there are going to be uncertainties on a global level, and Trinidad and Tobago are going to have its own uncertainties. And so is it, therefore, if it is that you believe that you had so much support geographically, why would you not say, I think there is a duty for us to at least tackle several seats. Let's see what happens.
I don't think politics is about let's see what happens. I do feel a personal sense of duty, which is why the party was formed. It wasn't formed solely to contest an election. It is a new party, but I think the duty is to also let people know what you stand for, what you're about. Now, stand corrected. Geographically, I meant, you know, widespread geographically. So it wasn't, for example, coming from your question, it wasn't a situation where it was purely central or it was purely south, or you just had people coming and joining from all different parts of the country. And of course, the duty, therefore, now must be to continue the fight. We made a decision. When the Prime Minister first asked, I think it was a Friday, we then started having meetings with our supporters and people who would put up their nomination forms, etc., and volunteers. And we used the week to talk to people. And people came from Valencia, and they came from Point, and throughout, they came to our office in Chaguanas. And we had to make a decision, not a unilateral one, but make a decision. Well, listen, what is in the best interest of the party? And that's given the time limit and not having the requisite, perhaps even beginning amount of finances that was needed. It just wasn't the right decision. But then that doesn't mean that one stops being heard. We live in a world of social media now, that your voices cannot be heard. It doesn't mean that it prevents you, because you're not in government or opposition, for going to people, as they say, on the ground to find out what are the issues affecting them and affecting them, and how we could raise those issues for them. And I'm also an attorney at law. And they say the courts are open to everybody, but not everybody can enter. Raise people's plights, find out what's going on. Have a little bit of a track record as well.
Yeah.